Future State Wonder Woman issue 2. Joelle Jones, of course, on the writing and the art here. And we ended with the cliffhanger of the Cerebus waking up, which she diffuses with a bone, as you do with many dogs.
Not just any bone, though. She goes and takes the ferryman's arm to play catch.
She uses her baller lasso.
Yeah.
Yep. And then hijacks. Kapora doesn't come though. Gives us some advice on her journey, but doesn't come. And I don't think did the first issue ever actually make it very clear exactly who she was looking for, or
no?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, it just said someone that was close to her. I think it was just a friend or a partner. They didn't actually make it clear at any point.
Yeah, but she falls down to the pits of hell, and I have to say, like, the art when Hades, this interpretation of Hades shows up, is next level stuff, and I think.
Oh, thank God! I thought you were going to criticize it. Then I was like, no, better not.
Well, no, here's the thing: when it comes to dealing with mythological stuff like this, I always prefer when it feels otherworldly and big and scary and almost incomprehensible, because that's how it should feel. Once you start sort of nailing it down exactly what it is, I kind of feel like it robs it of all mystique. And this is kind of, that is it's mystique. He's it's all shadowy figures and he's intimidating, tall.
He's scary. He looks like I don't know how much like supernatural stuff you guys are aware of, but like the whole concept of shadow people, that are just out of the corner of your eye, and sometimes people feeling sleep paralysis feel them. That's the vibe I was getting from this Hades.
I love that the lettering for him as well is huge, just to show how it gives the impression of a big booming voice because he's so big.
I'm not sure I understand.
Jeez.
The computers are rebelling.
I was talking. Yeah.
The computers don't understand shadow people, apparently.
No, not at all. That was weird because usually the watch only goes off when I pull it up to my mouth to talk, like Dick Tracy, right? That just went rogue. So I'm gonna have to do a cleansing.
Even before Hades shows up, though, she's fallen in front of the judges.
Yep.
Who we got Minos there for sure. I'm not sure who the others meant to be at this point, because the thing in Greek mythology, the judges can change depending on who's there at any given time. People can be elevated to that position.
Right.
Yeah, and then of course Persephone is very bright red with the flowers, very different to everything else in the surroundings.
I love the glow that surrounds her. Like the background just completely fades away, and you get just like a pink glow. Like because even a lot of the background has the kind of the pop art dots that are used. They're a recurring thing in the issue in general, but directly around her they're gone, or they're completely faded at least. And it is just that pinky red aura that just shows the light that she's bringing through.
Yeah, who convinces Hades to let Yara actually look for the lost soul that she's looking for. And I think one of the effective things about the art is, particularly when she's in the sea of hands of the lost souls looking for, we eventually get this sort of flashback. She has to think of the final moments with this person who turns out to be a fellow, I don't know if it's literal sister or just sister in the sense of, each Amazonian
sister. Yeah. Like Diana calls all of them sisters. So
yeah, that's why I wasn't sure exactly, but certainly someone she's close to, of the Amazons, and it's her death. It's where she's fallen off a cliff and Yara's trying to lift her up, but there's someone going to stab Yara from behind. So she makes this choice. The sister makes this choice to jump back and throw her spear up and kill the attacker, but it does mean falling to her death, and that's kind of this tragic. There's all this sort of watercolor red looking art. It's really different from the rest of it.
And it's why Yara is here and feels so guilty. She died saving her. That's why she's come on this quest to get her back.
And you've got that really demonic thing when she does get her back and she pulls her out the pit. That again, going back to Hades, that red and black scream, that panel is wonderful. What I love about the art at this point though, and they're fighting these weird like shadow demon spider things that are chasing them. Is that everything in the background is all these blacks and dark blues and grays, and it's these and then the spiders themselves are just pitch black. There's no detail on them; they're just shadows.
Just the occasional red eyes,
kind of like Hades himself. Is that her costume is still very detailed and colorful, so both of them always stand out. And it's interesting that the sister, and as well we see the rest of the sort of like that are Amazons at the end of the issue, they all have the exact same color scheme. They have different sort of variations of what the outfit is in terms of what it covers, where there's parts and where there's not.
The blue, red, and gold.
Yeah, it's always the same color scheme. But the colors pop on her so much against all these backgrounds when they're running out of this cave system.
So I'm really intrigued by the sound effect they use for the spiders, because they use like a plucker. And I've never seen that before. It's always a clicking sound usually.
Yeah.
That's pretty unique. And I'm like, huh, I like that. I'd like to see more, comics with the spider hordes use the plucker.
Okay, more plicking for Connor.
Yeah.
But her sister gets stuck beneath a sort of cave in, like rocks come down and trap her.
She is still like halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she has to have this.
Also, it reminded me of the story of Morpheus.
Yeah.
Or Orpheus.
Orpheus.
And where they tell him you could go and get your wife from the underworld, but you can't look back.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't remember this being in the Matrix. What are you talking about?
Orpheus.
Orpheus.
He goes down to get Eurystheus, I think her name is, who is his muse, and basically Hades says, "All right, fine, she'll follow you out of the underworld. You just have to climb, 1,000,000 stairs, whatever it is, and when you get out, she'll be there with you. She'll be right behind you the whole time. But if you look back, she'll be stuck here forever." Yeah. And the idea is he goes, most of the way. He gets right to the end, thinking, she's not there. He can't hear her at any point. He looks back right just before he gets to the exit, and of course she was there the whole time. But now he's looked back, so she's stuck there, and that's the price that he has to pay.
And so just the whole, that's Hades' like go-to trick, you know. So here he adds a collapse onto it too, but
it's the idea that you can get close to the exit. The hope is the worst part.
Yep.
That's why he gets off on the suffering almost of letting them think they're going to succeed, and then ultimately pulling it away from them, because once the souls are his, they're his, and it's very rare for any soul to get out of the Greek underworld.
Yeah, I mean, we have the heartful goodbye again. She has to essentially say goodbye again. Again, like she already did this once with the falling to her death, and her sister's actually fairly happy about it, in the sense that like you get to live, you get to go and be better.
Accepting is probably a better word than happy. But...
I mean, but like so but they are here as Yara's pulled away by her sisters who are pulling her out of hell, and you just see like the sister she was trying to save, just the like the colors from her outfit are fading, and they're almost just as grey as the rocks that are surrounding her. As the crash is happening at the bottom of that page, and then Yara's just yelling and crying in front of everyone. And even actually the rocks as well at the side of the cave making a skull. Also nice touch.
Yeah, it makes the Hades face essentially. Because the entrance to the underworld. That's such a nice touch.
Yep. What I kind of liked here is our Pegasus shows up, Jerry, and sort of cheers her up a little bit. But when that happens, like all the other Amazons are all gone, and I was wondering, like, were they literally there, or was that more of a spiritual thing of like them pulling her out, but they're not really physically there?
I mean, that could be.
I think you can take it either way, because it completely fades away for when the Pegasus comes in. So you could take it as they were there, and now the Pegasus is here. It's almost like there's a bit of a time jump after she's been sat there crying for however long. Yeah. And the Amazons have left her.
Which is a bit cruel. They just left us sitting there crying. That's a bit on the cold side.
I think it's more just they felt like maybe she had to deal with her grief alone. Maybe it was understanding rather than cruel.
Yeah. So, yeah. And so some of the stuff, some of the narration talks about how humans started telling stories because once they learned, it's like, it used to be the whim of the gods, whether or not it was warm or cold, but then they developed fire, or they're not developed, sorry, one of the...
Whether or not it was Prometheus that gave it to them.
Right.
I actually think it's really interesting, this narration at the end, because the whole time it's been in the Wonder Woman font, right, with the yellow background. And at the end, it starts to shift to orange and then red. And that final moment, as it's shifting into red, you get Kaipora, who is in who has a red speech bubble, and the implications are maybe she's been telling the story the whole time, or at least some of it.
Yeah, that's what I got from At least this from this. At least the story about the gods and the fire and telling stories, because that's our final point is wrapping up that thought. This is why human nature is to continue telling stories, and so
yeah. But it's interesting because up until this point we've assumed it was Wonder Woman because it's in the gold with the red outline, which it is standard Wonder Woman narration.
And as far as we know, she's in the realm of the gods, so of course she's going to be able to tell the story, But no, so just that whole tag at the end of why humans tell stories, and having just read a story, it's a nice little capper,
It is. And unlike a lot of the Future State books this week that end with the end, it's only the beginning, as it says. And I'm very excited to see more Yara Flor in the ongoing line.
Yeah, that's just felt like a taste, like a proof of concept of a sense of who she is, with actual stories left to be telling.
So we kind of skipped over her doing the magic trick.
Oh, with the finger.
Yeah, at the beginning, that cracked me up.
She also, maybe
I love her.
Maybe it comes from something else first, but all I could think of is her quoting Pulp Fiction when she's trying to pull her sister out from the rocks. She says, "I'll have you out in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail," I think is the line, which just makes me think of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. She continues to be a fantastic character.
And Connor just put it down a whole point because he's realized there's a Tarantino reference.
No, because I'm not sure that is a Tarantino reference, because that's something that people have said it feels like they've said for forever. I mean, I'm not forever. I don't know if it is a Tarantino line.
I want to ask Joel Jones, what inspired that line? Was it the old school nature of it, or is it because you like it from Pulp Fiction?
I think even if it did come from Pulp Fiction, I don't actually know if it was around before that or not. It's kind of entered standard. I've seen so many people say that not in reference to Pulp Fiction, but just say that.
I have literally never heard anyone say it except Pulp Fiction, which is why all I thought about was Pulp Fiction.
Okay, I've heard it a lot, so it's not something I associate with Pulp Fiction. But fair enough if it's from that. I mean,
I don't know if it is, but I have never heard it come out of anyone's mouth other than that movie.
Huh. I have quite a lot, so I didn't realize. Yeah,
hanging around with a bunch of hipsters is what you're doing. By the sounds of it.
Yes, the hipsters that quote Tarantino all day.
Hipsters like Tarantino.
I mean, more or less, they're more often than not, though, they're probably gonna share the Leo meme now more than quote certain things. So
it's a good meme, to be fair.
Yeah, I know it is. I do it inadvertently now when I just point at something. So
it's good.
What's funny, Matt, is actually your emoji on the live stream channel is you pointing. So when anyone says anything they want to add a bit of pointing kind of energy to, they'll use your emoji.
I approve.
Yes. So Wonder Woman, Future State Wonder Woman issue 2, Matt, what are you rating it?
So I believe I gave the last one a 10. This one, while it didn't hit as hard, it's still really good. And I'm gonna go all wild and give it a 9.5.
Connor?
I am breaking from my tradition this episode of siding with Matt on the scores exactly. And I'm just giving it a straight 9.
Oh.
Yes,
I think it's very good.
Yeah, I'm giving it a straight 9. Was that what I gave the last one, or did I give it 9.5? I can't remember.
I think me and Matt maybe both gave it the 10 and you gave it the 9.5, yeah.
So it's very good. I actually would say that maybe there's moments the art shines a bit more in this issue, but I think I enjoyed. There was more of our kind of playful banter in the first one, I think, which is what really spoke to us even more so. So
for sure.
But a lot to be excited about with Yara Flor. So that's Future State Wonder Woman issue 2.